This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 194, Where to Look in Your Business for Cracks. Are you a real estate agent who wants to turn your real estate job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan or any plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. And to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, I've created a free jumpstart course for you that's waiting at freeagentgift.com. Telling you, go get a copy of this. I wish I had it 22 and a half years ago. I can see it like it's yesterday. I had no clear plan and I had to figure it out basically with a chisel, a hammer, and a stone. But I want to give you the easy way to start, freeagentgift.com. And even if you're in the business and you've been in it a long time, I coach top producers to this day and they wash ashore with all sorts of strategic messes for me to help them clean up. And I like to do it. So I'd like to give you away for free the same wireframe that we use in our business, my own book of business, my brokerage, which is now expanding across the country, all these top producers. This is it. We give it to you. I know you want all the whiz-bang, hocus-pocus, fly-by-night, get-rich-quick stuff, but this is the real stuff upon which you can base a business. Freeagentgift.com. In this episode, I want to talk about where to look for your cracks. Right? In your business, there are cracks. This is where to look. Crack number one, not having a new business development plan. See, I know when we get into business, one of the things that everybody wants to talk about very quickly is marketing. How are you going to market yourself? You're going to write a letter to all your friends and your sphere of influence and all this stuff and out it goes. Well, that's not even close to a plan. It's not even close to a plan. In the business plan I give you at freeagentgift.com, it starts strategically with a variety of plans that work together to form a holistic plan. Think about a meal plan that makes you healthy. You need your proteins, you need your carbohydrates, you need your fats, etc. They're holistic. In the same sense as Whole Foods, right? When you go into a Whole Foods to shop, it's a holistic approach to good health. Well, in business, it's the same thing. But when you get to the front end of a business to make it successful, you have to think about new business development. And this is one of the things that I think is dangerous in this business, that there are too many people out there that coach you, teach you, that you just go out to this sphere of influence that you have and you begin to tell them you're a real estate agent. You get into conversations. I mean, it's decent enough advice, but I've said this for years. I say it to my brother all the time, who's been in this business with me for a long time. You have to learn how to do business with people that you don't know, if you want to build something that is predictable and sustainable over the long run, including through the ups and downs of the economic environment. Okay? You have to learn how to do business with people you don't know. Hence, new business development. And a lot of top producers, they'll get themselves built up with a pretty good book of business where they have repeat and referred business, and those people, they send them business, but that's new business too. If somebody refers you somebody, that's somebody new. So you can't just sit around waiting for all these past clients and the people that you know to magically just send you people. That's not intentional. That's hobbyistic. So we talk about this a lot, and I've talked about this for years. You can't be hobbyistic about this. Hope is not a plan. You have to be intentional about new business development. So if you find yourself not intentionally thinking about how you're going to acquire first listings. So many of you run away from listings as if it's this big scary thing. They're people, just like the buy side is. Oh, I know, but the buy side's easy. Really? Is it? It requires an enormity of effort to find new buyers, an enormity of effort to go out there and show them a lot of properties and to negotiate, especially in these hot markets where you lose a deal. So I'm just telling you, both sell side and buy side, you must be intentional about finding people that you don't know and doing business with them. A little pro tip there, I would definitely be cognizant of the median price in my marketplace, and I try to do as much business as I could to the right side of it, meaning all the way up to ultra luxury. Okay, just a profit tip for all you pros out there. Crack number 2 is not having consistent conversations with potential prospects. So here we have this intentionality to develop new business. But then once we say, okay, I get it. Well, are you having consistent conversations with people that own houses at or above the median in the geography within which you want to do business? Are you having consistent conversations with potential buyers who are moving into that geography, spending that kind of money? Are you talking to people who are mobile within that area? In other words, are they selling and buying? Are you having consistent conversations? You need methodology to do so. So a lot of you, if you're new to this, you probably say, well, sure, I'll have that. How do I do that? Well, a lot of you and a lot of Griffin agents, so in my brokerage, we have a lot of very young people and very enthusiastic, and they're coming out of school and they're trained on social media platforms. So we teach them, look, start trying to have conversations there where you're living the majority of your life, but be intentional. Don't just post pictures about houses and, information. You're trying to engage people in a conversation that can lead to you giving them more pertinent information about buying or selling. I won't go down that rabbit hole too far. But if every week you're not intentional about having real estate conversations with potential sellers and buyers, how are you going to develop prospects? And let me give you a good definition of prospects, because nobody ever did this for me when I was new in this business. You hear this term of prospecting, but I needed to give it some real definition so I understood, like Henry Ford. I always imagine Henry Ford being my consultant, even though he's long gone. I imagine him coming down and looking at the way that I assemble this relationship and the raw materials. For example, in his world, it might be steel. He might be buying steel from Carnegie, and the steel might be coming in, and they have to form that steel into the chassis of the Model T. Well, what is the equivalent for me? Well, that's a lead. See, contact information is just the universal piece that goes through. We have somebody's name, telephone number, email address, mailing address. That's a fully formed contact. So let's just keep that as the base. But what's happening is their disposition is lead. I meet that contact in the real world in any context. I can meet them on social. I can meet them in real physical events, clubs, whatever it might be. Everybody is open for conversation about real estate, right? It's really not that hard to have. So I have all this raw material that leads. That's who I'm having the conversation with. And I don't have to press people and say, oh, do you know anybody? That's all this weird desperation. Just say, oh, really? You live down in Centerville? Oh, I do too. I happen to be a real estate agent too. Oh, really? Yeah. How's the market? It's just so logical. But that's the lead conversation that begins that consistent conversation. Now, of course, if you want to have it intentionally and have the business provided, there are all sorts of ways. But this business always gives us opportunities. If we're a member of the multiple listing service, you can see all of the expired, canceled, withdrawn, for sale by owner. You can get a list of where people have passed and there's a probate situation. I mean, the business provides an enormity of people with context like those items. Right? Context means for sale by owner. Context means expired. Context means probate, meaning somebody died. You get it. You get the point, right? So the idea is that that's all context, contextual sellers. And then you have contextual buyers. You can, if you join a brokerage, you can borrow an open house and you can go in there and be ready to talk to the buyer who's downsizing, upsizing, first-time home buyer, moving in or out of an area, whatever. Those are all contexts. And you can use all those methodologies every week and try to get there. You look, if you were really a hustler and you had nothing going on and the brokerage was dead and they had nothing going on, go call a for sale by owner and get them a bunch of information. Ask them if you could run an open house at their house and try to help them sell it. Even if you were doing it for free, just to pick up the buyers that weren't going to buy their property, whatever. Think outside the box and don't be so afraid. As long as you serve first, there are a lot of people that will give you back the opportunity. So, you want to think through all that stuff, okay? The next thing that I would say, crack number 3, is once you prospect somebody, think about how much effort that you put in to do that. Once you prospect them, the next thing is to protect that prospect relationship. I can't believe how many top producers are such cream skimmers. What does that mean? That they get the prospect who's ready right now, pay attention to them, sell them a property, only to fret, I don't have any business behind that. Well, yes, because all of those prospect conversations that you had, you stopped protecting those. You didn't keep those out in front of you. So that's a problem. right? You have to protect them. And there's not that many of them that you need to protect to make you wildly successful. They're just not. I mean, do the math. If you have an average price, let's make it up. If you have an average price in your marketplace of $500,000 and you can create 10 to 20 real prospects, people who said they have, did I give the definition of that? Let me go back there and rewind the tape. A prospect is somebody who has a real reason why they want to sell or buy, a real reason. And they have a real motivation to do so. On a scale of 1 to 10, they feel like they're a 9 to 10 inside the next 12 months. To me, those are the basic fundamentals of a real prospect when they move from lead to prospect, okay? So that's a really important thing to consider. Well, now you have a bunch of those people that you're serving and you're taking care of. Protect that relationship. Keep them updated every time new stats come out once a month. Tell them about them. Put them on the automatic emails inside your MLS so that every time something sells around their property or sometimes when something sells around where the buyer wants to be, keep them up to date on what really is happening in the marketplace. And then from there, you just keep in touch. You're building the relationship and they're very less likely to cheat on you. They are. So protect those prospects. So if you're not protecting those prospect relationships, especially my top producers out there, no wonder why you're always running around spending too much money, being inefficient, and freaking out every time the market corrects like it is right now. Crack number 4, final one here today for this podcast, many other cracks, right? Is developing a complainer's and quitter's mindset. That's really the kiss of death here. That's a crack, right? And that's about you. These other things are tactical and technical in the business that you can see them in front of you. But what about you? What do you sound like, really? What do you really sound like? If you're part of a brokerage, and are you complaining if you go to the physical office still? Are you complaining on the Zoom? Are you complaining to your friends? Are you blaming a lot of people out there? Are you blaming the economic upswings? Are you blaming the political party that's in power? Because the more and more and more that you do that, you will find plenty of excuses to quit. Quit on this season of change. Quit on the business altogether. Quit on the client who's difficult. You'll just develop this. So you have to be very cognizant that one of the greatest cracks in all of this is your mindset. What does your language sound like? What cognitive distortions are you allowing into your world? All those things really, really matter. Let me go back and summarize these points here. The subject today is where to look in your business for cracks. Crack number 1, not having a new business development plan, because you must do business with people that are looking to sell and looking to buy that you don't know, and that don't necessarily come from your already existing sphere of influence. 2, crack number 2, not having consistent conversations with potential prospects. You might know them as leads, but conversations about real estate are very easy to get into in any context that you find yourself. Have them. Crack number 3, once you prospect somebody, meaning you found somebody who has a real reason why they want to sell or buy, and they have a high motivation, 9 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 inside the next 12 months, they're a prospect. Get them updates of the market. Get them updates of the micro market, meaning what sells around their house or what sells in the area they'd like to buy and what comes on. Keep them informed about the information. Protect that relationship by providing the variable information that changes between now and when they could become your client. Last crack here, crack number 4. Be careful to not develop a complainer's and then a quitter's mindset. There are too many things that are easy to complain about. Rather than go out and be positive about change being something that can provoke you to get better, you complain and eventually you quit on somebody. It's dangerous. Let me summarize it this way. As the real estate market begins its latest correction, which is happening as I'm recording this, too many real estate agents will turn a blind eye to the cracks in their business rather than leaning in and learning about them. The key to patching the cracks are 1, creating a new business development plan. 2, having more consistent conversations about real estate that lead to new prospects. 3, protecting those prospect relationships. And 4, Please stop complaining and developing a quitter's mindset. All right, remember, you can take immediate action and get started in the right or better direction if you're already in the business with our free simple business plan that's waiting at freeagentgift.com. I can't say this enough times. It's simple. It's a wireframe. I use it to this day, 22 and a half years later. Like I said, I wish I had this before, but I'm going to give it to you because I don't want you to suffer the same pain. And listen to me. I still do this. I teach this. I run a brokerage that's expanding. I have brand new agents that are still in college and not even graduated yet. They're executing the plan. One just listed a property for $900,000 using this simple wireframe. Another one is very close to listing $1.5 million. These are people that come out and execute on what I didn't know how to do, and I want to give it to you. Freeagentgift.com. Why do I want to give it to you? Because I just want to leave a footprint here. This business has been good to me. I want to leave a positive footprint. My calling in life is to be a person for others. Go ahead. Go over there and try it, right? If you want me for more than that, you can find me. But if not, just start off better or give it to someone you care about. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. We also post our content on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe to the Realty Classroom channel. We'd also appreciate it if you would share our content with other real estate agents, just like you, so that they get the help that they need. We'd appreciate that. But remember this, we sign off the same way every single time. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on your business, and we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.